is that when they get married, so how should a doctor manage spending, saving, and investing all this while where they have society expectations and they don't want to feel financially suffocated?
Yeah, I think that's a very important point, Yukti. I think that's an age when a lot of changes happen, and largely one of the biggest conflict point in most marriages is money, right? And the reason is because you are marrying into an individual where both of you come with different financial habits, and like we know, our financial habits are a function of how we have seen money while growing up.
Yeah.
For doctors per se, it's even more complicated because that's also the age when they first start earning.
Yeah.
Right? So they don't have a lot of accumulated wealth. I mean, for a lot of people, it is possible that they have family wealth, but I think it's not the same thing. And also, that's exactly the same time when, your lifestyle is taking a turn, you want to buy your first car, you're getting married, so there are certain expenses, associated expenses that come on that account. You also want to carve out a lifestyle, you want to have a social circle, you also want to establish your career. So there's so many things happening at the same time, and I think financial discussions often get deprioritized.
Exactly. So, like all these complications that you just listed out. So, how can one doctor who has started earning can just manage this complication?
So I think for somebody who has recently gotten married and is, let's say, a late 20s or a young 30s doctors, I think the foundation of every peaceful marriage around money is to have these conversations early into the marriage or even before your marriage if you are comfortable, right? Because aligning those financial habits is very, very important. Also, the degree of intensity to which you discuss this with your partner can vary from every couple to every couple. In a lot of cases, I see where the partners are still getting to know each other. They may not be comfortable discussing every little bit of their family finances, right? So I think having discussions around budgeting is a very good starting point. Both partners should come together. They should discuss about what kind of rent can they afford, what kind of budgets should they have around groceries, utilities, even things like how much should they spend every month on entertainment, vacations, annual vacations, shopping, and all of those elements, right? So I think budget itself becomes a common goal that the couple chases. And in cases where the couple is very comfortable, being transparent with each other, they have known each other for a while, and they feel that they can trust each other, in terms of disclosing everything. I think this conversation can widen to other elements also about, disclosing maybe financial liabilities, ascertaining the family financial goals. What do they want to chase? What do they want to build? When do they want to buy their first house? So on and so forth. So it depends on how comfortable you are discussing how much with your partner, but not having this discussion is a strict no. So they definitely need to begin with this discussion.
Yeah, and as we are on this topic of marriage, how would you guide our doctors who are like working together, like both of the partners are working and earning?
Yeah, so I think this is very common in with doctors that they end up marrying within the same profession. Even if they don't marry within the same profession, for a lot of people today, the spouse is all both of them are working, partners. So in cases where both of you are working partners, I think having a three account system is a great framework, right? So you have one common joint account where both of you contribute a percentage of your income. What percentage should that be? If both of you are earning almost equal amount, you can contribute 50-50. If let's say the husband is earning 2x of what the wife is earning, you can contribute in that proportion. So whatever is your proportion of income, you contribute in that proportion to the joint account, and that account will be used for all the household expenses, whether it is rent, groceries, utilities, child education, even all the family financial goals investing can happen from that account. So let's say you are trying to build an emergency fund, you're trying to accumulate funds for buying your house, or so any of those joint goals that you're chasing together, or a child's education fund, they can all go from that joint account, right? Now there are two other accounts which are both your individual savings account. The discretion on those individual accounts is yours. So इस फ्रेमवर्क का फायदा ये है ना कि आप उस इंडिविजुअल अकाउंट में क्या कर रहे हो, वेदर यू आर स्पेंडिंग, वेदर यू आर सेविंग, वेदर यू आर सेंडिंग मनी टू योर पेरेंट्स. सो एक तो वो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट फ्री रहता है क्योंकि वो डिसीजन आपका है, राइट. सेकेंड, इट फ्रीज यू ऑफ द गिल्ट दैट आई एम नॉट कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटिंग एनफ or meaningfully enough to our joint life in the future, right? One of the big problems that I've seen in a lot of couples is that, you know, they have this conversation much later ki, you know, I mean, how are we jointly building our life into the future? So I think you have to segregate the joint decisions and your individual decisions, because in a lot of cases it is possible that the partner has a, you know, wants to spend on, let's say, an expensive luxury watch. You don't align with it, right? But once the partner has already contributed towards the joint goals, joint expenses, so then the partner has discretion over the leftover money that they have, right? Whether they want to use it for their own family, they want to use it for their own skill building or a personal goal, or they want to just save it and maybe buy whatever they want to buy.
Basically, it is like aligning with their like life, married life with personal life. It's like a
I mean, it kind of segregates your, you know, your joint decision making, and it also gives you a little bit of autonomy. आपको हर चीज के लिए एक दूसरे से पूछने में अगर डिस्कम्फर्ट हो रहा है, so this will solve that problem. I'm not saying every family needs to have this, because बहुत सारी families में कोई discomfort होता नहीं है. They want to do things jointly. वहाँ कोई problem नहीं है. But if you feel that, you know, if you want to spend on something and your partner does not align with it, and you are also working, you are also earning, and इस type की conflict अगर घर में होती है, so this kind of conflict can be managed by having this setup.
Yeah, true.